Welcome to your daily dose of dopamine. I am stronger together with that guy. That's Robert.
I
This
love that you
is
called that
Steve.
out. If you didn't, I was going to call that out. I just love seeing Stronger on there. And then you add it together and it gets better and better.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, because I just did this before we got on. This was interesting to me. Zoom says, how long do you want these things to go? And we started this about 2 months ago. And we just posted our 60th daily dose. We have done these almost indeed every day. I think
yeah,
we've
yeah,
only
yeah,
had
yeah.
2 misses within this, which is kind of incredible. And then so I extended it out because I want to kind of revisit. It makes me think, why we started this and how we feel we're doing, and then let everybody else know. You tell us, how do you think we're doing?
Please do. Please do. Please let us
So,
know.
so what do you think? I mean, what was your memory of why we started this, and how do you feel about how it's going?
I remember we were talking about the festival and my role as director and
Yes, and Exercise Festival in Texas,
the Yes and Exercise Festival in Texas on December 3rd of
in
this year.
Austin.
A
Check it out on the
very,
website.
very cool place.
Yeah.
Well, let's share some details.
Yes.
Robert, to answer your question, I have a very specific memory of you saying, you are a lot more valuable to me than some of these things that need to get done.
Right.
You're the face of Parkinson's. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not you. My dad has Parkinson's, but you have Parkinson's.
Ooh,
Ooh. And and I got that.
I'm so
I,
glad.
I don't think about it, I guess because I live with it, but in the story we're telling, it is helpful to have a first person.
Beyond helpful. And I love the way you just phrased that. I want to kind of highlight a couple things I heard to say that, you know, yes, number one, I think you, I, and many of us undervalue ourselves or don't understand our true value to the world, right? And so that's part of what we've done with this program with Yes and Exercise on a broad level. We want people to understand the value they have versus the pain of what they're losing, right? We acknowledge the pain, yes, of what they're losing or what, being taken away either by Parkinson's or aging, those are hand in hand sometimes. And to say, did you know this though? The undervalued asset that is you also has this to offer. And, as we started to tackle this idea of what it even meant to do this festival, right? Very broad ideas, there are logistical things that needed to happen where we worked from an early stage from was saying, I know I don't need you to be my nuts and bolts person. And you were very bravely and kindly stepping into that, thinking that it's what needed to be done. I was like, yeah, I think we'll be okay. And I didn't know, but I think we'll get those things done through other avenues.
Yeah.
Your voice, your story, your Susan essence is what people need to know. This is what's going to get them to come. So that just like your bio on the page, when you're like, oh, wow, it's really there. I'm like, of course it's there. It's not a cursory thing that I offer to you. And I'm so thankful you accepted being the first follower and that we put that forward because that's the George and Gracie, Batman and Robin story that people need to understand about, this is the relationship. This is the stronger together, right? I can
Yeah.
only do what I can do. You are coloring this in a major way.
Coloring it in. Coloring it in. Yes. Yes. And it is through my lens. It's through, my eyes and my experience. The more people I meet who have Parkinson's, the more I realize I'm a very singular individual in this way this story gets painted. Even, I'm 6.5 years in. Some people are 12. I talked to an old college friend yesterday who's 19 years in. And, life is very different. And yeah, so I could do that. I can represent my story as representative, if you will, of the greater Parkinson's, the gestalt of the greater Parkinson's reality.
Well, and your daily life. I mean, that's what we do. We have these conversations. One of the major complaints I hear from people with Parkinson's about any socialization that has to do with Parkinson's is they see the end result or hear the negativity and complaints, right? To the end, I mean, it's like these, highly paid conferences in medical centers with brilliant doctors. to get up there and to hear them talking only about symptoms, that again, I understand the need to know them, but you go to one or two of those and you got it, right? I mean, you
Right.
pretty much understand the wide variety of possibilities of things that could be going on with you. If it's not good,
Yes.
let's focus on the good
Yes.
things that can be going on with you.
Right, right, right.
And that's how you live. That's one of the reasons why you are the perfect person to be the first follower. You are the person with Parkinson's. That person part is so first with you. You live out loud with love and generosity for others.
Thank you. I feel like I don't wear it on my sleeve,
Right.
you know? I mean, I don't keep it,
And you
you
don't hide it either.
know, it's not under
Right.
the proverbial barrel, but it's just a natural everyday part of my life. And it, you know, some days it's different than other days. Just there's the nature of it. But when you said that, you said, you are so much more valuable. What would you think of doing 5 minutes, unscripted, unplanned, every day? Just record something.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really worked out to necessarily be 5 minutes, although we always aim for that. I know you got a timer going, but that was an amazing suggestion for me to imagine doing every day. And because we don't have an agenda, never knowing what we're going to say. Sometimes we trip over each other at the very beginning, and then we go somewhere, and maybe it ends up being about the festival. Maybe it ends up being about Parkinson's or improv, and maybe it ends up being about basketball or kids or parents or values like courage or someone whose work we admire like Brene Brown. And I love that. The diversity is covers a spectrum. It's a heck of a spectrum we've covered in the last 60 days.
Yeah. And it's the power of doing just that, of the, you know, foundationally improvising a conversation, showing again how tangible this is. That on the one hand, you know, we play the games, and that's where some people are like, okay, games that require skill and this, that, and the other. It's like, no, this
Yeah.
conversation. What you were saying reminded me of one of my favorite games that we play, which is the pattern game, you know. And how the pattern game works is, you know, someone will give, you know, a suggestion, and suggestion is hot dogs, and then Susan says the first word that comes to her mind with hot dogs, which is
Ketchup.
ketchup. So ketchup is our root word. So the group will all go ketchup, 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 ketchup. And what the group will then do is person by person call their name, and they'll say the next word that's related to the last one. So we know ketchup's where we're going to get back to, but in the meantime, we're going to go on a journey. And I don't know where ketchup's going to take us. And you know, we may at times forget ketchup, whatever, but eventually within, you know, anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes, we'll make our way back naturally to connecting to the word ketchup. You know, ketchup, mustard, relish, love, heart, the Beatles, whatever. And you know, we work our way around, and then we get back to ketchup naturally within flow by listening to each other. And I think that's an underlying truth, and how we always get back to our foundation, which I'm proud to say we now, after wandering in the darkness about this, it is yes and exercise. It is a fully formed 501c3. So
Yeah.
we're demonstrating it on a daily basis
Yeah, a nonprofit. Here you are.
with a pay it forward model that we both love.
Pay it forward, Bob. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I mean, nothing new is on my mind. I can say this. I showed the movie to my kids, and for those who want to see, the pay it forward page is up. And what I love is it tells the story in a great way, because it includes my dad, who is the reason for it. It was neat to show it because, you know, Haley Joel Osment's character in there is a seventh grader. And I have a kid right now who is a seventh grader, and I have one who's a fifth. So heading into sixth and eighth. So it's right in their wheelhouse. And, you know, they saw it and they were a little overwhelmed by it. They're like, whoa. I mean, this kid's kind of doing a lot. I'd probably be one of those other kids doing something simple. And I let it be. And I didn't force the whole movie on them, because I say, give me 20, give me 30 minutes. Just see if you can understand what's going on. They didn't dislike it, but they're like, yeah, you know. And so what I feel I did there was I planted a seed. Francesca agreed, you should probably watch the end of it with me. Giuseppe will probably watch from the background as he's playing his games, which is fun. But it plants a seed. The idea, because what they had heard me do, interestingly, their friend, a local neighbor boy, sweet kid named Gideon, who's one of our subscribers.
Yes,
Gideon, that's
right.
right.
Yes.
There's a
Our
connection.
first subscriber.
He was at he comes to the pool club. He's a pool club member with us, so we took him. And he forgot, you have your family pin so you can get your treat, whatever it is, an Otter Pop or an ice cream bar. And he forgot his. And he was like, "Oh, can you text my mom to get my pin?" I said, let me pay for it, please. If you'll let me, please let me. And he's like, "Okay." And then he said, "I'll pay you back." I said, No, pay it forward. And he kind of looked at me funny. And so I had to kind of quickly describe. And Giuseppe heard that. And he's like, "Pay it forward, huh?"
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Every moment, just authentic. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's what I said. I said, let's just plant seeds the same way we plant seeds with yes and. Let's pay it forward just into our vernacular. So after, I guess, not having much to say about it, that's what I have to say about pay it forward.
You did good. You did good.
Let me add this back to you. In your letter, a beautiful letter you wrote to Brene Brown this morning. Did you read my notes?
I'm in the process. I have had the most brilliant idea. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
good. Well, let's not go into fully. Maybe someday we'll share it with everybody. Maybe just put it in a public letter. That's a good idea. An open letter to Brene Brown might be a good blog post.
Whoa.
What I said in there, I think one of the things I wanted, and it sounds like it landed well with you, was for you to bring you.
That's what it is.
Because you described the program, but you didn't describe your relationship or yourself in there. And those were so sorely missing. While it was sweet and well written and thoughtful, I go, she's a relationship person.
Yeah.
So she needs you. She doesn't know it right now, but she needs you.
Much as you figured out that there was something that I could add. Yeah, I was aware after I wrote it and after I sent it to you, I was like, this is just exactly what you just said. I think it was a little modest and putting too much attention on me because it's your program and it's out there for the world. But I had such a good idea that I'm looking forward to pulling some things together.
Well, I'm going to pitch that. We'll see. We can do. You can both send it personally, and then maybe, like I said, as an open blog post. That might be neat. We'll talk about that further.
Okay.
We are at time. I know we could do more.
I know we could, but I just need you to know what this really is.
Do it.
Can you see
Get
that?
closer so I can see it.
Sorry, it's from MD Anderson.
Okay.
And that this is like one of their mottos.
Got it.
But I want the world to know, I want the people who are watching this Daily Dose to know. I've had so many people say to me, "So what do you guys have a set time every day and you get together?" And I said, "No, it's all over the map. We just sort of, maybe we guess that it might be in the afternoon, or maybe Robert sends me a note and goes, 'Time for a dose,' and I'll send him." And so just now, Robert sent me a note. It said, 5 minutes or 6 minutes ago, "Time for a dose." And I said, "Well, yeah, if you don't mind a girl who hasn't had a shower and wearing her nightshirt. That's what this is. This is what I sleep in. I've already been out and exercised wearing this shirt." And so anyway, I was like, that's kind of cool for our daily dose because we are stronger together.
And everything you just said really struck me to say that's why we do it this way, is again to point back to what we're doing, that improvisation works on all levels, that the more you try to contain it or say it is this thing, the more you lose the ability to connect in the moment. That's what we're doing. We're connecting in the moment. And with that, that's your daily dose.
It's your daily dose.